Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my second video today. Earlier today, I did a checkup video showing you all how to navigate through my website, and now a much easier way to get to my website by simply typing in www.liamsweather.org into a brand new Chrome browser, and it'll take you directly to my homepage. Alright, I have made it as easy as I possibly can for all of you here to get access to my website. So once again, www.liamsweather.org, and it'll take you directly to my homepage, alright? So in this broadcast, I'm going to feature the latest forecast for the middle and later parts of this week, because we're going to have two main systems that will be impacting the central southern plains and then be pushing its way east and possibly even eventually reaching the Carolinas and the eastern coast as we go into Thursday and Friday, right? But before I talk about that, I briefly want to talk about something that has been on my mind for the past few weeks. We've been getting a lot of information from the National Hurricane Center and the National Weather Service about information about this new upcoming hurricane season, and there's been a lot going on with all the names that they've been featuring. You all know that last year was by far one of the most active hurricane seasons on record, with 30 named storms, several of those being major hurricanes, also known as Category 3 or higher, and there was a lot of confusion with the Greek alphabet, considering that we were about midway into that by the time we ended hurricane season last year. So, fun fact, the Greek alphabet will never be used again to name tropical systems, alright? So once again, and the Greek alphabet once again will not be used in the future because it creates a distraction from the communication or hazard of storm warnings and is potentially confusing, says the World Meteorological Organization, or short for that, WMO. All right, and last but not least, the WMO's Hurricane Committee held its annual meeting last week. I forgot to change it, but it was last week. All right. So once again, the WMO's Hurricane Committee held its annual meeting last week to discuss past hurricane seasons and update its operational plans for upcoming seasons, all right? And once again, at last Wednesday's meeting, the committee decided to retire the name Laura, which was the hurricane that made landfall last year in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I think it actually made landfall in Cameron, Louisiana, but meteorologists Jim Cantori and Stephanie Abrams were live there on the live coverage, and they have now replaced that name. They have replaced the name Laura with Leah, alright? So once again, the Greek alphabet will never be used again to name tropical systems if we run out of names in our original storm list, alright? So here are all the storms that we used last year. I think we used half of it. I think the last name that we used, I think, was either Iota or Kappa, alright? So we went through Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Theta, and then Iota, alright? And once again, Delta, that was the one that made landfall. That was the first landfalling hurricane last year that actually impacted New Orleans, Louisiana, right? They were in the cone 7 times last year, and believe it or not, they only got hit 1 time, alright? That is why the cone is called the Cone of Uncertainty, because the track is so uncertain with these tropical systems, alright? So here are the names for this season, alright? We're going to start with Anna and then go down to Bill, Claudette, Danny, Elsa, and Fred. That's the first list. That's the first row. And then you go on to Grace, Henry, Ida, Julian, Kate, and Larry. Third row includes Mindy, Nicholas, Odiette, Peter, Rosa, and Sam. And then as you go to the last row, Teresa, Victor, and Wanda, alright? And God forbid we go through all these names. Once again, we can't use the Greek alphabet. This is the brand new list of storm names that we will be seeing. God forbid we run out of names. Once again, we cannot use the Greek alphabet anymore, alright? So God forbid we go out of our names for this season. Our first name on this brand new list will be Adria, followed by Braylon, Caridad, Deshaun, Emery, Foster, and Gemma. And I think that's Gemma or Gem. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But once again, this is the brand new list that we will be using this year if we run out of names, because we cannot use the Greek alphabet anymore during tropical hurricane seasons to name hurricanes or tropical systems, all right? Basically breaking news, all right? Absolutely incredible, all right? So now let's talk about the setup going into the later parts of this week and into the week. And once again, I said 2 systems will be impacting the U.S. Here's system number 1, and here's system number 2, bringing very stormy weather, possibly even another severe threat to several places here across the Gulf Coast and Dixie Valley. I think that's how you say it, that were very hard hit by last week's severe weather outbreak, all right? So once again, basically in this general area, area for tonight going into tomorrow, and then as you go into Wednesday, we'll see this start push to the east. All right. So here's the local forecast as of 5:40 a.m. p.m. Central Time. It looks like it looks just like on the radar right now that the heaviest storms, I think, or the most severe thunderstorms, are just off the coast of the southern Louisiana coast. Very heavy rain now working its way into very populated areas like New Orleans, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, possibly even getting into Birmingham, Alabama, a place that was very hard hit last week by that severe weather outbreak. And once again, here's system number 2. Here's the remnants of system number 1. And all these storms will be continuing to push to the east as you get into the later parts of tonight and then eventually into tomorrow, right? So here's the severe forecast all throughout today, all throughout tomorrow, and then going into tomorrow night. So basically anywhere in northern Louisiana, eastern Texas, as you go into southern parts of Arkansas, so places like Shreveport, Louisiana, Little Rock, Arkansas, possibly even getting into the eastern part of Jackson. That won't be your best threat. I think our best chance of having the most severe thunderstorms will be in this general brighter red area. But then as you go into the maroon, darker color red, that includes places like Jackson, Mississippi, and also New Orleans, Louisiana, right? And then as you fast forward to Thursday, that track continues to go to the east. So now we're looking at places like Jackson, Mississippi, Tupelo, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama. Once again, a place that was very hard hit last week by that very severe weather outbreak. And then as you go back out towards the west, you have places like Shreveport, Louisiana, Alexandria, Lake Charles, Louisiana, a very hard hit place by Hurricane Laura last year that was in our original name. Once again, we had to go back into the Greek alphabet. And then also Houston, Texas, you were still included in that. And then also as you get into Thursday night, we're possibly even getting into the middle parts of Georgia and then possibly the extreme western parts of the Carolinas. All right, so not anything anybody wants to see, especially following a very bad severe threat where we had possibly over 50 tornadoes that touched down in so many populated areas around this area because of that severe weather outbreak that we had last week. All right, and how much rain are we going to be talking throughout Friday? It looks like right here along the Gulf Coast, we can possibly be looking at up to 3 to 5 inches of rain. Possibly over also some places that are basically right along the border of Alabama and also Tennessee. Basically anywhere in this area, you have a good chance of getting anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain. Possibly a little bit more than that as you get into places like northern Alabama and Mississippi, getting into the central part of Tennessee, and then possibly as you get into southern Kentucky. All right. And so that is all I have for you all today. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, the Greek alphabet will never be used again to name tropical systems. All right, we have a brand new list of names that we will be using this hurricane season. God forbid, fingers crossed. God forbid, please pray to God that we do not run out of the names for this season. But God forbid we do. We have a brand new list because we are no longer allowed to use the Greek alphabet to name tropical systems. All right, and once again, the easiest way to get to my website from now on is www.liamsweather.org. Once again, www.liamsweather.org. No capitals, no spaces, no parentheses, or no I forget what that thing is called. You know what I'm talking about, that little dash at the top, that would usually go next to the S. All right, so again, that is all I have for you all today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your night.